Gen Y, Gen Zers, baby boomers, and millennials, and welcome back to another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. You know, before we start, I thought I would pull up a quick little tweet, and I think it's very relatable, Matt. It says, the person goes by the name of Oh No Chels, and says, one of my favorite things about being a millennial is how our weddings will start with a beautiful ceremony, celebrating love, and end with everyone on the dance floor singing about sweat dropping down our balls and yelling, ah, skeet, skeet in front of grandma. And that's kind of the mood I'm feeling in, is just having a little dance party today because we hit another decade of episodes 130. Matt, how are you? How are things on 130?
Things are great. I'm high on life right now. I'm ready to act like we're sweating our asses off on the dance floor. I think that's the vibe everybody has to go into each day of the week.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I feel like our episodes kind of brings people together, like that song "Get Low" by Lil Jon.
You can't hear that song and not get excited. You just can't.
I kid you not. The music that starts off our show, like that's probably the same caliber as "Get Low." Like, I may be expanding myself a little bit, maybe exhausting it, or maybe stretching it a little bit, but I think, you know, I feel like that's going to be my wedding song.
That's what Jenna's going to walk to down.
How we're going to walk in. Funny Business Podcast intro.
You know what? That will be my problem. As your best, I hope I'm your best man.
Oh, yeah. Man. Somebody's entitled over here.
If I am your best man, I will enter your wedding with our theme song. And I expect you to do the same.
I was like, what if it's my idea to do that?
We should just do a first dance with just each other at our weddings with our theme song.
That I'll consider it.
Yeah.
Maybe on the side.
Would allow that?
Maybe on the side, like where no one's paying attention, like just have a little pre-dance before we all come out together and dance. So like, That's kind of like the music that the DJ plays before everybody comes running out, like the wedding party's introduced. Like that music will play while everybody's waiting for everybody to get together, but then we can have our moment behind the curtain before we walk out.
Absolutely. What better moment? I mean, really, like, yeah, we're marrying like our future wives, like that's fine. But like as bros, as potentially each other's best men, it's really our day. It's really about us.
Bros before no-goes.
And we are allowing each other to get married. That's really, I'm allowing you to hopefully marry Jenna. You will allow me to hopefully marry April one day. Like that's just the way it is.
Like they always have the bride walk up with their dad to basically like give up their daughter. Mm-hmm. Instead of that, it's like they're going to walk up, we're going to say yes, but then one of us is going to run all the way to the back of the church, and then we're going to link arms. We're going to walk up. Yes. Do you take this person to be your husband? I do. There you go.
Yep. I don't see a better way to get married.
Oh man, we're already planning a bunch of stuff, Matt. I mean, I can't really say we're going to look back on this. And I've mentioned this before of how many episodes we now have, quote, archived of just talking to each other and just kind of talking, I don't want to say about the future. I mean, we could talk about the chronicles of like you getting your PS5, you talking about your margarita machine that's been there, you being on a flight, which by yourself, which I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about a little bit later.
Oh, we will.
I won't spoil it and asking you how it was. We'll wait for a little later. But, you know, it comes with planning, Matt. A lot of things that come with planning typically involve, you know, planning for events, planning for a digital strategy, you may say. But Matt, I want to talk about an Instagram takeover that kind of went wrong today.
I love these.
Oh, it's lovely. You know, a lot of times I think social media managers, and I know I'm calling people out, but at the same time, failing to plan is planning to fail. One of my favorite quotes of all time. I think having a plan coming into it is going to prevent you from doing stuff that I'm going to mention from here. Matt, this comes from a Dutch university's Instagram takeover by a student. I am going to completely botch the name of the school, but it's De Hagenschonga School. I think I totally botched that. I'm so sorry.
I think you nailed it.
It is DEHAAGSEHOGE. De Hagshag.
Nailed it. Yep.
Okay.
Moving
We're
on.
just going to call it DS because so the university hosts a weekly student takeover on its Instagram. Matt, you are familiar with Instagram takeovers, correct?
Yes.
So it's where a individual that is related to the affinity is going to post stories of kind of like a day in the life. Typically, a takeover is a day in the life of that individual. So from the time they wake up to the time they conclude it, the time that they can conclude it really depends on how much they need to cover that day. So they host a weekly takeover. They let students document their life on campus. The content of these takeovers is typically focused on study-related topics like library sessions, study-related issues like experiences from different study programs, or student life snapshots such as housing, nightlife, and study associations. This unfortunate week, however, the student behind the camera chose to use their 15 minutes of fame to pick out questions from the audience that some found, quote, mildly speaking, inappropriate for the platform. So anybody knows who's on Instagram, you can, quote, ask me a question, and then you're able to pull it anonymously and be able to answer it through your Instagram takeover.
So that's a question that I have real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
The person that posts that question, can they see who asked the question or no?
When the person who gets it can see the question. I believe, and I haven't done a question thing on Instagram.
But when they go to post it, they can hide who sent it.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, here's how to do anonymous questions on Instagram. Okay. Typical social media manager, have to pull this shit up.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, cool. All right. So, Matt, you would think, what type of questions would you ask a student that is attending a college or university as like a prospect?
Maybe your daily routine.
Okay.
Kind of how you prepare for classes or exams. I have a feeling these questions are going to be more towards like the partying aspect of college, maybe.
You're wrong.
Oh, okay.
You are way wrong.
Okay.
Matt, this one person who anonymously asked wanted to know this individual. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Ass or tits?
The question is old as time.
Yes.
Yes.
So the person's replied, the student says, the soul, but your ass if I have to choose.
It's not wrong.
Oh, yeah. Matt, it didn't stop there.
Oh
no. So that first one was posted per the sequence, and then a second one showed up. One of the questions, so the actual prompt was ask me a parentheses deep question. And one of it was clean your computer, fam. Shit's dirty AF. And the person said suave. But then in the bottom left-hand corner, there was a little text that was a little hard to read if you didn't catch it. But some of our screen grabbers decided to catch it and said that can't be as dirty as I left your mom last night.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's a classic your mom joke.
Oh, man. So as every good social media manager, they intervened quickly and shut down the Instagram takeover completely. They did a post on Instagram. They did a story of text, like any typical, apology text or, any tweet of apologies.
Did they do the classic Notes app apology?
Kind of. They put it on their Instagram and then they just put a gradient background behind it. But the way that it was written was, unfortunately, the takeover of the week has ended. Some of the posted stories were contrary to our values. We'd like to apologize to those who felt offended in any way or form by the content that was made. The students' takeovers are for all students of THUAS and are meant to show what it's like to be a student at THUAS. We want students to be their true selves, but still ask them to make stories that are in line with our guidelines. If you want to talk about earlier posted stories, please send email to, and then the email, and then it's from the institution.
I love the classic Notes app apology. Like when the people just type in a Notes app, it's like you could not have took any less care into making your apology than using the Notes app.
Another thing that I get very pissed off to, I'm a huge advocate of digital accessibility. It is 100% not accessible if you just post a photo with a Notes app. You are just better off writing a tweet thread for that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But if you hear me coughing, I don't have COVID. I tested.
Are you choking on your Yingling this week?
Choking on my alibi.
Oh gosh.
There it is.
You know, I was listening to a video, and they said that you should stop saying brand names because you're just selling stuff for free. So, Matt, you enjoying that nice beer?
I love beer.
Oh, you love beer.
Yep. I love beer. Yeah, this is this is what happens when you give college kids access to social media. They're just going to treat it like a Yik Yak, except it's not anonymous.
The good old yak.
It's R.I.P. Well, actually, Yik Yak's kind of coming back.
Kind of, a little bit.
Depends where you are.
Depends where you're at.
Depends where you are.
So, Matt, I'd like to ask you, for somebody who doesn't manage social media quite a bit, but just want to test your, shall I say, skills for that time. How would you go about doing a takeover with a student or just a individual that you want to feature on your Instagram story?
I feel like if it's a professional, the question and answer could work. Mm-hmm. If not, I feel like just making sure they're kind of supervising what they go through in a normal day, like taking videos of them walking to class or of them doing an activity after class or before they do their homework, and just kind of doing like a vlog, like a live vlog, making sure that like maybe they're showing how a normal college kid's day is, like in the life of a college kid for a prospective student, things like that. Opportunities where you can make things anonymous and give them more freedom is probably not the best way to do it. I feel like you want to give them freedom, but also give them guidelines that they can follow so shit like this doesn't happen.
I have a bona fide way of preventing such atrocities from happening.
I'm all ears.
You don't give them your Instagram account username and password. What you do is you just have them take photos and send the person, the manager, texts and what they want to say, and then the social media manager puts it together.
That's a smart thing to do, especially if you do it like a day in advance.
Well, not even a day in advance, like real time, because you still want it to be real time, but at least at that point, you're getting at least one set of eyes to go through for it. And then you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that does make the most sense, because then at the end of the day, they can cut what's good or say like, no, we can't post this. Yes, we can post this. Hey, try doing more of this, less of that. That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
It's a very active time of doing an Instagram takeover, but this is one of the many reasons why I am always very reserved in just handing out an Instagram password like it's a piece of candy, because you may run into things where this happens. I mean, it's the same thing as you hand somebody a camera to take photos, and they take weird photos, and then it happens, stuff happens. But I have not seen any follow-up regarding this individual's, shall I say, discipline. But it's just a nice reminder for all social media managers to not be lackadaisical or laissez-faire, which means let it be, in your social media takeovers with their students. Even if you think that they are the golden child, you never know what is going to be interacted, let alone you never know who's going to be posting it, because if they have the person's phone and it's unlocked, the world is their oyster with it.
Yeah, it's just giving college kids freedom to do whatever they want. Not always the best idea.
Yeah, it's a little tedious, but I was gonna randomly ask you the question. That was the first question, but I'm not gonna do that.
Just say it.
Nah.
Yeah,
go ahead. We are professionals. There's a reason why we're called Funny Business.
That's true.
50% funny, 50% business. Do you think, Matt, people are tired of hearing our Anchor ad?
Yeah, probably. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for Anchor, we would not be doing a podcast.
You're right, Matt. Once again, we have to thank Anchor for helping us continue to make each episode. Y'all know how it works. Anchor is free. It's easy to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and distributes your podcast to platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And you all know that you can make money too, even with the first couple episodes that you start with.
So why haven't you started your own podcast yet? Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
So, Mike, when do you think we'll stop talking about Anchor?
Oh, man, Matt. You know what? To be completely honest, I think we'll be talking about this for a long time.
I don't think I would even want access to my college's social media. Like maybe that's because I'm a boring person. I don't know what I would have talked about during my day. Hey guys, this is me going to class. This is me coming back from class. Now I'm in the cafeteria. Now I'm doing homework. Like, who wants to see that?
And that's the thing that I also not want to make a point to it, but what I think about sometimes, like if you're asking to do a social media takeover, you're almost fabricating what you do on a daily. Like, because it's all supposed to be happy and go lucky, but at the same time, it's not, because you're trying to fabricate a nice day of a takeover. Like, you're not going to say, oh man, my girlfriend just broke up with me. Like, you're not going to say that shit. But yet, if it happened during the day, a true takeover would have you post about that. And I know that that's irrelevant to the content that they're posting, but likewise, you're having that moment or that time, which to me, I think somebody should just film you during the day. That's what it should come down to.
I was just going to say that. Like, let the social media manager, the professional, do his job. He'll know what's good for the day, what's not, what's inappropriate, what's appropriate. Let him do the job. And the person that he's videotaping gets a little bit of shadowing to see the day in the life of a social media manager. Like, let them do their job and just film the person.
And I think it's much better too. You okay, Matt?
Yeah, I just got tickle right now. We're good.
And it looks better when somebody is filming you rather than this weird, like, hey guys, what's up? I'm holding my phone in front of me like a selfie. Like,
yo, what up, guys? This is Jason. I'm going to take you through my day today. We're starting off with a bacon, egg, and cheese. Like, no one cares, Jason. Just go home to your frat and drink some beer and get no girls because you have no game.
I don't care that you ate a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich.
I have a story I'm going to save for later in the podcast.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But yeah, just be smart, be mindful. It might require a little bit of more work for an individual to do a takeover, but better be safe than sorry, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think just if I was in charge of a company's social media, like I would want to be in charge of it all the time. Like, yes, I'll take like days off, or like prep, like even like when you know you're not going to be at work, you prep ahead. Like, I would never want to give someone else the keys to my job and be like, "Hey, go ahead and do it," because I don't trust anyone to do my job.
It is basically like giving somebody the keys to your office.
It really is, or just the keys to your car and say, "Hey, go drive it for a day." Like, no, absolutely not.
You got a good point.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's just important to just do your own job.
Yes, absolutely. Amen.
Yep. And then it's also important time to take away from your job, which is a perfect segue into my advice for this week because, Mike, if you remember,
What?
do you not remember what you told me? Where I'm going to do the advice in the middle?
Oh, I thought you were going to do it before we wrapped up.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, we switched it.
Go
Because remember,
ahead.
I said I was so awkward switching that we're going to put the advice here so it's not as awkward. Anyway,
Yeah, but
I
you
made it
still
awkward by
tried to
explaining all of that.
segue.
Made it super awkward. We're going to roll with it. My advice for this week: live life to the fullest.
Okay.
You never know when bad stuff's going to happen, so just live life. Yeah, and just don't be afraid to do what you want to do in life.
And don't live your life like you only live once. Like, live your life to the point where it is okay to be uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
but you are pushing yourself to be uncomfortable to be comfortable.
That makes sense.
Like, don't go out and, like, I'm just trying to think of a scenario that people are like, oh yeah, YOLO. Like, don't go parkouring off the top of buildings because that's, you know,
Right.
that's how you live your life to the fullest. Unless you're a trained professional, like, by all means,
Mhm.
I second that. But for you to go out and, you know, whether that's asking for that promotion or going to that place that, you know, you want to socialize with or you want to socialize with somebody new, like, do it.
Just do it. All right, let's do some segments. Mike, actually, your first topic. I was going to do this topic for last, but you know, talking about your mom jokes.
I
Some
thought you were
sex
just
jokes.
I thought you were just gonna say talking about your mom. I'm like, we did
No.
not talk about my mom at all today.
Talking about some sex jokes that the kid made. Let's do a little would you rather. However, this is going to be a very special would you rather.
Oh dear God.
Mike, we're not going to do all of them.
Okay.
I have a list of 100 dirty would you rather questions.
No.
Oh, yes.
Matt.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Oh no.
Absolutely. We're going into it.
We're
gonna
not. Oh, man,
yes, we are.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I'll try to keep it as PG as possible.
The power of Christ compels you.
No, we're doing it.
Okay, fine.
Starting off with a banger. Would you rather accidentally send a sext to your mom or a nude to your ex?
Sex to my mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause
As
at
awkward
least
as
you
that
can-
would be.
You can laugh about it.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, it's gonna suck.
Hey,
But I just don't want.
iOS has a way to delete the message. So
That's a point. That's a good point. Yep. Some of these are a little too out there that we're not going to go through.
okay, good.
So give me some time to search through
Process.
and see this. Would you rather be terrible in bed or a terrible kisser?
Terrible kisser.
I agree 100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because at least you can make it up in the bedroom.
Correct.
Mom,
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're listening to this episode.
Yeah, this is great.
Oh,
I love this question so much. I
Uh-huh.
just have to ask it. Would you rather only ever be on the top during sex or only ever on the bottom?
oh God.
I'm going to answer first.
Yeah, go for it.
Top.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn it. I need another
Yep.
beer.
Good. Then I'll just keep rattling off more. I just enjoy it more on top.
Yep.
Okay. All right. There it is. Mike, you have any you want to throw out there?
No, it's your segment, pal.
Okay. Would you rather have your parents see your sex tape or watch your parents' sex tape?
That's a good one.
This one's tough.
This one's tough.
This is tough. Neither is a good option.
No.
However, and this might be, they're both hot takes.
Mhm.
I think I would rather watch my parents' sex tape.
Really?
In my head, listen, everyone out there listening knows this one fact. Your parents had sex.
Well, yeah, you
We
didn't
all-
exist.
I don't want to know. And I don't want my parents to know what my sex life was like.
Uh-huh.
At least I know my parents had to have sex to have me. So we know that happened. So that's why I'm going to go with that.
You have a pretty damn good case about that.
Right? That's pretty logical.
But it's a sex tape. Like, you've only had sex one time in that tape. Like, if you watched your episodic life of your sex tape, like, then I would be very uncomfortable with that. But, man. Yeah, it'd be the parent sex tape.
Okay. I think that's a safe option. This one's not that bad. Would you rather hold your partner's face and stare into their eyes for 5 hours straight or never get to be that close to them ever again?
Say that first part again. I got really confused with
it's
that.
a little confusing. Would you rather hold your partner's face and stare into their eyes for 5 hours straight or never get to be that close to them ever again?
I would do the first one.
Yeah. Listen, I love staring into April's eyes.
Yeah, Jenna's eyes.
Let's see. That's a tough one.
Get a raunchy one out of the way.
You want a
I wanna hear
raunchy
this.
one?
Yeah, we can bleep it up if we want to.
Would you rather never again or never be able to have your favorite meal again? This is
holy shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna be straight up here. I would rather never eat my favorite meal again.
Me too.
Yeah. And that's not because we're super horny. I think it's we don't have kids yet.
We want a family.
Right.
You know, there's no vasectomies yet. Like,
if I was like 45, maybe I'd change my answer.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you rather be a sugar daddy or have a sugar daddy?
Oh, I'd rather have a sugar daddy.
Absolutely. You kidding me? Send him some feet pics for some money?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll send you $1,200 weekly if you send me some feed pics. Absolutely.
Yeah. Would you rather only have sex in the middle of the night or right when you wake up?
I mean, are we talking like middle of the night, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.?
Yes. This is tough. Because on the one hand, here's my logic. I'll let you answer first, but I'll
ready to hear your logic.
I'm not going to answer yet. I'll let you go first, but here's something to think of. On the one hand, you do like morning sex, great way to start the day.
Okay.
On the other hand, you don't have to get up early for it. Like you can sleep in.
Yeah, I'd much rather prefer in the morning because, like, thinking about it too, like, you know, if you do it in the middle of the night, you're up and you're not sleeping. And, like, we've had our advice in the past of, like, get some sleep. Like,
but what if you get to sleep until like noon the next day?
Still the morning, you still do it because that's when you wake up. So that's my logic.
I think I'm going to go middle of the night.
Okay.
But they're both good. Would you rather never be able to hold hands or kiss your partner in public or only show really aggressive forms of PDA?
Wow.
I'm going really aggressive forms of PDA.
Yeah, I would just love to know what these really aggressive forms of PDA.
I'm thinking like an intense makeout, which that would be uncomfortable. Or just like slapping some ass.
See, I wouldn't call that aggressive.
You don't think that's aggressive?
I don't think
what if it's like a full wind up?
That's assault.
Okay, well, warranted full wind up. Let me rephrase that. It is allowed.
Is it enough where the person goes, ouch? Then that's assault.
No, I think it's just enough that's like it's more than just like a little pat.
Yeah. I would just go with the aggressive form of PDA. That'd be me.
I agree. Would you rather have sex in a bathroom of Taco Bell or in your car in the church parking lot?
I think I know your answer.
What do you think? What do you think my answer is?
The Taco Bell.
No.
Oh, you want to do in the church parking lot?
Church parking lot.
Is this from experience?
No.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I would. Yeah, church parking lot for me too.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see.
I can't believe you're doing this.
Why not? We got to listen. Let's switch it. Switch the notch. We're
vulnerable.
always so like. What's the word?
Well, Matt, everyone last week found out that you have trouble getting it in the hole, so I am.
Can I confirm that is not true?
Oh God.
Would you rather?
Summers, I'm sorry.
Would you rather only be able to sext or only be able to have Zoom sex?
What is Zoom sex?
Sex over Zoom.
What? That's a thing?
Yeah.
I would.
I'd rather sext.
I'd rather sext.
Yeah. Zoom sex just does not seem appealing at all.
Oh no, not at all. Like you'd have to set it up. You'd have, yeah, it's just not good.
Okay, so I was last night on FaceTime with April. I was reading some of these.
Okay.
This one came up,
Uh-huh.
and she did not like my answer to this one.
Uh-huh.
Mike, would you rather have sex with Thomas the Tank Engine on in the background every time you have sex, or intense thrash metal? I want your answer first.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
Okay,
thank you
that's
very
what I
much.
said too. That's what I said. Here's my logic. Intense thrash metal. I feel like it would throw me off my game because I'm going to try to like keep up with the rhythm. Yeah. Yeah. Like it would throw me off my game.
Have you heard about the Reddit post about a person finishing to this song?
What's the song?
It is called, oh gosh, person finishing during sex. I heard this on the tripod and like, wow, I was cracking up hysterically. I almost crashed. Not really. Matt, I want you to do me a favor. I'm going to send this to you.
Yep.
Actually, I need to hear it, but tell me why it was upsetting for April to hear you say Thomas the Tank Engine.
I think she was just thrown off that I would want Thomas the Tank on in the background. Because her logic is it's just music, but it would throw me off my game. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to listen to this. I'm going to actually overlay it because, I don't know, YouTube fairness policies and all that, whatever. I'm going to play it. I want you to just play it.
Okay.
And I want you, this is a song that this person finishes to.
Are you going to put this in the recording?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the recording.
Okay. I have a Liberty Mutual ad. Please hold.
Ah, damn it. Damn Liberty Mutual.
I have a question I want to ask, then don't let me forget it.
Okay.
I have another ad. Come on.
Oh,
I don't want to ask my doctor about anything.
damn YouTube ads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate this. I hate it so much. This is an awful choice. No, that's terrible.
So let me read because I have to. This is from a Reddit user posted by Tyler Life.
Of course, this came from Reddit.
Yeah. My 20-year-old female girlfriend of 2 years told me that the music that I play during sex is weird and a major turnoff. When I first started having sex, I researched into ways to better as I was a little stiff and pretty much had no idea what I was doing. I read online that you play music to match the rhythm in order to put on better performance. I searched love-making songs and started slowly creating a playlist in which I was comfortable matching the rhythm. There are a few songs to my playlist. However, there is one song in particular which actually happens to be my favorite, that my girlfriend hates and says turns her off in a major way. I don't understand why it's taken her 2 years to tell me she hates that song. It's good love-making song with good rhythm. I feel the way I effed up is I could have possibly asked her previously if she likes the playlist or any song she'd like to add/change. But to leave it for 2 years thinking our sex life is great, but in her eyes has just been ruined by my music, has left the whole situation feeling awkward, and I'm a bit annoyed. I pretty much played this tune every single time, so the amount of time she must have not been enjoying it, when I thought the complete opposite is annoying but also embarrassing in ways. Not to mention my previous partners, however, they never complained about the song, so maybe it's just her. It's effed up the relationship, to be honest, because sex feels awkward now. The other day we were having sex with no music, but I was still thrusting to the tune playing in my head. She recognized this and asked me to stop. I thought the song was perfect, and I always thrust along with the tune and feel it gives me the perfect rhythm to doing the deed to. I usually burst the song and find it devastating she hates the song.
Awful song choice. God awful.
What was your question about Liberty Mutual?
No, so it wasn't Liberty Mutual. What's the weirdest movie, TV show you've had on in the background?
None.
None?
No.
What do you mean?
No. No.
You don't know?
Not that I don't know. I know. It's none.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
I've never
weird?
Netflixed and chilled. So it's no.
No?
No.
I know mine.
Wait. I just.
What? It's not this podcast.
No.
If that's what you're thinking.
No. The Incredibles 2.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yours?
Yeah, that's mine.
Okay. Mine's Seinfeld.
I can't necessarily say it was, and I love that I get to say this on the podcast. I can't say it was coitus, but it was real intimate time. Let's put it that way.
Okay. We'll do a few more. I feel like we're enjoying this.
Let's do it.
Would you rather use mayonnaise or ketchup as lube?
The hell?
That's the question that's on there.
Oh.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah, but like, that's disgusting. Like,
Correct.
that's so good.
But mayonnaise.
Yeah, but like, still, like, oh, what?
I don't know. I think I screened this list just to see if this was viable. It was. I haven't gotten this far down, so I don't know what else we're gonna have.
Oh, you're in unnatural territory.
All right, I hit the bottom of the list. Let me find one more.
Uh-huh.
This
is a great podcast.
This is great. Would you rather only be able to have sex in cars or only be able to have sex in the shower? It's easy for me.
Shower.
Car.
What if you get caught? You can't get caught in a shower.
Car.
You would rather face public charges for, what is it called? Nudity? Public nudity?
The shower is not my favorite.
I know it's not really the most convenient, but still.
Okay, I'm not gonna just like do it in the middle of a Target parking lot.
Yeah.
I'll find somewhere to go.
I'll find a back road, you know?
Right, it's somewhere.
I literally thought as I was leaving work today, I thought to myself, I'm like, we should try to get canceled one time. See what happens. This might be the episode.
We won't get canceled for this. No, not at all. And with that being said, we'll move on to our final segment.
I think I just ripped my underwear.
Oh boy. Well, maybe we'll get canceled for that.
I heard a snap. I'm like,
oh boy. It is time for some Say What. I'll go first if you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't know how I expect to recover from after that.
Okay,
segment, but-
I'll give you some time to recover.
Okay. Wow.
That's
I
the
remember
first.
this
I know.
one
I'm
time.
surprised. I'm surprised that's the first time that's ever
I
happened.
remember this one time, freshman year, I was at this party and I knocked something over and it was really embarrassing.
That's the first time that's ever happened. I'm
It
impressed.
did. I give you credit for that.
All right. So I went on a plane this weekend.
Did you?
I did.
I don't think our audience knew about it.
This past weekend, went on a plane. Got to see April. It was great.
Congratulations.
Wow, long
I mean it.
distance. Yes.
I mean it in a positive way. I'm happy
No, I
for
know.
you.
While long distance is extremely hard, it is extremely worth it. It was like a perfect weekend.
Yeah.
It just couldn't have went any better. Like the flight was good. Seeing her for the first time was, I didn't know what to expect. And it was just that first hug and like that first kiss was just great. We had a great weekend at Magic Kingdom and Epcot, or at Magic Kingdom and Epcot. Like we got on almost every ride. I wasn't able to get on the Pirates ride, which sucks because that's one of my favorites, but it was down for maintenance. What are you gonna do? They kept Magic Kingdom open till midnight for us because we had, not for me in April, but if you had a ticket for the Halloween party, they kept it open until midnight. We did Space Mountain in the complete pitch dark.
Yeah, that's cool.
Epcot was great. Got some drinks around the world. We did hibachi in Japan.
Ooh.
We got on the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
How was that?
It is my favorite ride of all time.
Yeah.
It is so good. Like, she didn't really tell me much about it. She's just like, I know you. I know what rides you like, what rides you don't like. You're going to love it. I was like, all right.
Nice.
So you go in. It's kind of similar to Rise of the Resistance.
Okay.
Where you walk in, they play a video. Then you walk in another door. There's another video. Right. It's an experience. But then you actually go to like roller coaster part.
Mm-hmm.
What's cool is you're actually like, when you're doing the roller coaster, sometimes you're going like straight. Sometimes the car turns sideways and you're moving like to your left down the roller coaster, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's my favorite ride. Like it was that good. It was also cool. So you had to buy like a time slot to go on the ride. You couldn't just go and like wait in line. So April got up at 7, wasn't able to get it. They released more at like 1 o'clock and it sold out in 4 seconds at 1 o'clock and we got one of them.
Good for you.
So it was sick. Flight home wasn't bad. Like it was just a great weekend. And not that we were nervous that like things were going to change, that we were long distance, but we just picked everything up like we just saw each other like yesterday. It was just great. Like I couldn't have asked for it to go any better. And like long distance has been tough, but like it's worth it if you have the right person.
I'm gonna be a little, oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm being cordial, or honest, I should say.
Go for it.
I'm happy that someone who has started off a relationship to seeing them almost every day to now switching to a long distance relationship, because I think that's what a lot of people don't understand with the relationship that Jenna and I have. Like, it's long distance, and for majority of our relationship, it has been long distance. Like, we've only been able to be together for a year. Yeah, literally a year and a month, right before the pandemic hit. And then she went home, and that was an hour and a half away. And then she was lucky enough to pick up a job, so that's another hour and a half. And it's refreshing to hear someone experiencing a long distance relationship when they first had a close distance relationship. So it's not that I'm like making fun of you, but it's like it's funny because I live it every day. Like, it's the weekend, and then before you know it, it's Sunday, and then I have to go home, and then we have to part ways, and then we have to do it all over again for another week. Like, so it was interesting to hear your perspective from that.
No, again, it wasn't like we were nervous that like we weren't gonna like that we would like lose a spark or anything. It was just nice knowing like nothing changed. Like
As it should.
I feel like a lot of people fear like something's going to change, but like in reality, it shouldn't. Like if you really love that person, like you're going to be the same whether you're 5 minutes away or an hour and a half away or 6 states away.
I mean, you're right. It's just very interesting to hear your perspective of a long distance relationship.
Yes.
When it's only been like a month and a half.
Yeah, almost 2 months.
Yeah. But no, I'm happy you had an opportunity to spend time with her. And how come you don't wear tights when I'm around with you?
I don't wear tights.
I'm just kidding.
I wear shorts.
Matt
wear
was
those all the
Peter
time now.
Pan. That was Peter Pan, and I was
Peter
like,
Pan,
ooh,
Tinkerbell.
little Peter Pan, little Peter Pata. That's only your say what?
Well, we one of each.
Oh shit!
Yep,
I always forget this.
that's okay.
Yeah, I'm all messed up in the notifications department with
What do you
my
mean?
phone. Like, there's times when I see an Instagram notification, like those red numbers.
Yeah,
There's like 2. I'm trying to figure out where the hell is this 2 notifications from. It's nowhere to be found. My Venmo notifications, they don't work. Like, I don't get notifications when somebody Venmos me.
ooh,
Like, I will share this on the podcast because I'm calling out my dad this week.
oh no,
So my dad likes to do what's called a drunk mo. And what he likes to do is he likes to Venmo his sons $50. So my dad thought it would be a fun game to see who would be the quickest to thank dad with his drunk mo.
I love this already.
So for everybody at home, so we can follow appropriately, let's just say, Wednesday of 1 week. My dad sends out 3 Venmos because there's 3 of us, Philip, Trent, myself. Dad sends out the 3 drunk mos. Philip sends out the first text. Trent sends out the second. 2.5 weeks later,
Oh no,
I found out my Venmo came through that my dad Venmo'd me.
No.
So I said, sorry. I don't get notifications of my Venmo, but I appreciate you sending me a Venmo. I didn't find this out until I ght to see him a couple weeks ago, that the winner of who was first was drunk mode an additional $50.
Oh no.
It's like,
What a contest.
oh my God.
It's
I
like
love
a
you,
radio
Dad.
station contest. So call number 1, you win $50.
I love you, Dad, but like, son of a bitch. Like that is on what grounds is that fair for all of us here?
I love you, Dad. That's awesome.
But yeah, I am I okay with my current notification setup? Absolutely. I have nothing wrong with it, but unfortunately sometimes it gets the better of me. Like my dad's drunk mo.
Yep.
So
I used to not get Instagram notifications for like years.
and
And
you,
all of a sudden they just came on.
yeah, and you said that to me, and now I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm just like Matt with his Instagram notifications. I'm not getting any Venmo notifications anymore. And then it changes where now I get every single notification when somebody likes a post, and it's like a little push notification. I'm like, relax, especially when you run 4 other Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Not great. It's not great,
No.
Jim. Jeez. All right, my last one. It's in regards to my travel, but it's not travel related.
Okay.
So my flight to go down left at 6 a.m. from the airport, 15 minutes from my house. So I'm in the airport at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I know you were terrified.
I actually, like, now that I did it, like, I'm doing it again soon.
When?
But 5 o'clock in the morning, I considered getting a mimosa. I did not. There's a Dunkin' because there's a Dunkin' in the airport.
Yeah.
So I got my iced coffee. I got a donut. That's a normal thing to get at 5 a.m. before a flight.
Yes.
So I'm sitting in one of the seats. We had like 15 minutes till we started boarding the plane. And this guy sits down next to me
Oh no.
at 5 a.m. And he's eating a ham and cheese sandwich
Yeah.
at 5 a.m.
Uh-huh.
What a psychopath move.
Why? Oh
Okay.
wait! Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was a breakfast sandwich. No,
No,
you
no,
mean
no,
like
no,
a
no.
ham and
No.
cheese, like
Ham,
lunch
cheese,
sandwich.
lettuce, mayo. You know
What
what's
a
even worse?
monster!
You know what's even worse, Mike?
What?
It wasn't homemade. He bought it from the vending machine in the airport.
That guy must have been hungry.
That's a psychopath.
It
You
is.
cannot. I tweeted this. I said, "My guy, have you not heard of a bacon, egg, and cheese before? It's 5
was
o'clock
so
in the morning.
thrown
Get
off.
your shit together."
I was so thrown off because I'm like ham. I'm like, okay, yeah, you can have ham for breakfast, but like this is like
Like a lunch
cold
meat sandwich.
slice, cold cut
Yeah,
sliced
cold
ham.
cut.
Yeah,
Yep, from the vending machine.
from.
A psychopath move. He was on my plane. I wanted to give him to Chris Brown 1-2.
Gosh, an altercation. Did I ever tell you when I was at the San Francisco airport that there literally was a machine that made iced coffee? Like there was an AI robot arm that
Oh,
made
wow.
iced coffee.
No, that's
Yeah, I
awesome.
gotta send that to you in a little bit. But it was literally an arm that was making the coffee, and it was like waving to people and dancing. Like it was basically like a one arm motion. But I mean, it was $5 later. But it was the experience that counted. So
Yeah.
it was good coffee. It was good coffee made by a robot. So I can't deny it was bad. But
I'll tell you,
Oh,
the Dunkin'
man.
in the airport was very good too. It was good coffee.
That sandwich. Oh
Yeah, no,
man.
that's a crazy move. Insane.
Did you end up sitting next to him at in the plane?
Thankfully, no. Actually,
No.
so
Yeah.
on my way down to Florida, the middle seat was open in my row.
Oh,
I had the aisle seats both ways. On the way home, once we got up in the air, the couple next to me, there was an empty row in front of us, and they asked if they could just take that for their own row. So the guy let him, and she was like, "I hope you don't mind." I was like, "Hey, I'm not going to say no to a whole row by myself." So I had
Good for
great
you.
flights. Yeah,
wow, good for you, man.
yeah.
That was my first experience. I actually had an open seat. Like there was an open middle seat, so I actually had my first flight ever to have an open seat in between the window
Yeah.
seat and. Wow,
It
there
was
you go,
great.
man.
Yeah, it
Good
was
for
awesome.
you.
Yep.
Wow. Well, I'm glad your flight went well.
Thank you.
Speaking of psychopaths, so while Matt was, shall I say, just enjoying himself in the big old Mickey Mouse clubhouse,
Mhm. Sunny 85
Hi.
every day.
that the same week that Matt was preparing for the flight down to Orlando, I decided to put on a crime fiction, but I really should say it is a crime nonfiction. Matt, I decided to watch on Netflix the Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
You know, I've been debating. I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Wow. Man. The first episode I watched was at 11:30 at night. I thought I was going to not fall asleep.
Oh no.
I actually slept very well. Evan Peters, for those who watched WandaVision, Quicksilver, in WandaVision specifically, he plays Jeffrey Dahmer. I've watched like interviews of the actual Jeffrey Dahmer and then like Evan Peters performing spot on, like completely spot on as far as his performance. It is gross. It's just freaking gross what happened. And I can understand the family's suffering as far as what exactly happened. And what was awful was we were, Matt, just to kind of give you context, a lot of this stuff stopped at like around like 1992, 1994. So it was before we were all born, at least you and I.
Mhm.
But there was a racial divide because a lot of Jeffrey's targets were black gay men. And it was very upsetting because not only there was the discomfort from, and it was in Minnesota too. Not only it was the discomfort of a gay individual, but also it was a racial divide of the color of the person's skin. And I think if it was any other way, I think it would totally be going one way or another, but there was just so much divide for it. And I know I'm kind of making my own movie review out of this, but what was funny was I think I finished episode 1 and like was kind of freaking out a little bit. So then I was like, okay, like episode 2. So like I went on Wikipedia, which is the best place to get all your, factual information.
Absolutely.
And I was looking up Jeffrey Dahmer, and I was looking up a lot of the sequences that, is his first kill, his next victim, why did he do the things that he did? And Matt, it was pretty accurate to the series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I knew what to expect going into it. So like, if I may suggest, if people are very uncomfortable watching it, just so means you get the spoilers ahead of time, just go on a Wikipedia page. This is the only time I'm ever recommending Wikipedia for anybody. Go to the Jeffrey Dahmer Wikipedia, look up, just skim read some of the stories that happen, and then watch the documentary, because it actually jumps in between like some of the timeline itself. But I'm glad I watched it. I'll be honest. Like, for somebody who is just absolutely freaked out when it comes to just scary shit, I am very happy I watched it, because it enlightens me more as far as why it's important. And especially, I know you gave your advice in the middle of the show, but just to reemphasize, like, having people know where you go. Because a lot of people just went with Jeffrey Dahmer back to his apartment, did not tell anyone that he was going there. So like, it's super important if you're out with a group of friends and, somebody wants to take you home, that you tell people or tell somebody that you're going this way, or, hey, maybe not. And then actually like start to get to know the person and go on dates and actually figure out who this person is. Yeah, it really enlightened me as far as the importance of telling people where you're at, going to places together. Like, yeah, some of us aren't fortunate in going to places with other groups of people, but at least telling somebody, hey, I'm going to go home with this person. Or because I think a lot of it could have been prevented if somebody was able to tell somebody that, hey, I'm going to this person's place.
Yeah, it's very scary. I think the worst part of it is the families of the victims have to watch this. There was a report that they were trying to find like legal action against Netflix for this, which, and I believe, if I'm correct, that I heard someone talk about it, there's nothing they can do because it's all public record. So like, Netflix owes them nothing because it's all public record, and they can tell the story because everybody knows it already.
Mm-hmm.
Which sucks, because the morally right thing would be to give the family some of the money. Not that like money's going to fix their loved one being killed, but it just sucks that they just have to listen to this all over again, like they didn't already live it.
Yeah, I do feel for the families, because they did cover one individual who was actually deaf. Like one of the individuals. I'm going to look up the person's name. Because I would feel bad to not actually include Tony Hughes. Tony Hughes was deaf in early childhood and was deaf for the rest of his life. And he was one of Dahmer's victims. And they actually did a very extensive review of Tony, in him having a challenge as a gay black deaf man, and some of the things he had to overcome as all of those in general. And it's
I haven't started it. I don't know if I have the stomach for it.
It's not that bad, Matt. Like, I was expecting like on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as like goriness, I'd say it's at a solid 5.
Yeah,
like, but like, I hate to be gory, but like, you're not seeing somebody get their arm sawed off. What's happening, but you don't see it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, not that I want to recommend watching it, but if you want to be educated as far as what happened, I highly recommend watching it. Because I never knew what happened. I always heard about Jeffrey Dahmer, or Dahmer dinner party, or all that stuff. So
yeah, maybe I'll end up watching it. It's something.
Yeah. But hey, Love is Blind season 3 is coming out in a few weeks.
Still gotta finish After the Altar.
Oh, you have to.
I have one episode left.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Very good stuff.
But yeah, if you made it this far, listener, let me tell you, or viewer, let me tell you, you went through the ringer.
Mm-hmm.
We got uncomfortable to be comfortable. And the shitty part is that there's more of this coming at you when future episodes come out. So if you're a new listener, probably the best thing that you should do is you should follow us on whatever platform you're using, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We always like to post highlights or TikToks or Instagram Reels. You can find all that good information at solo.to/funnybusiness. You can also find some merch available there, as well as our Twitch live stream page itself. Matt, it's good to have you back in the States, buddy.
Never left the States. But it's good to be back.
It's good to be back in another episode and another one down. But until the next time, we'll see you all in the next episode.
Stay safe, everyone.